a brand new day, and the beautiful people over at the Balan company of Square Enix have given us quite a big update. Noriyoshi Fujimoto, the producer of Balan Wonderworld, explains the themes of the game, what each world represents, and what's coming in the day one patch. Seeing day one patch after all the criticism and the discussions about how people feel about Balan Wonderworld, the confirmation that we are getting something day one to fix what people may possibly not like about the current demo is actually pretty nice. So it sort of gives us a little hope. And the game's coming out in 11 days from this point, because today's the 15th. And it comes out on the 26th, so next Friday, I believe. There is a lot that could happen here. I'm just gonna go through this article because it does sort of like explains everything that's been shown about the game so far, and also possibly new things to come. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I have the link up there. I'll probably link the article in the description. So here you go. This is the meat and potatoes of what we're here for. These last three statements right here, right? So I've spoken to you today about both the negative and the positive, as well as finding the balance in our hearts, right? Staying true to the nature of Balan Wonderworld, I would like for us to follow in the footsteps of the enigmatic maestro, Balan, and find balance within our own heart, especially when it comes to addressing feedback that we received from our demo, right? Now it's getting spicy, right? There's been a wide range of opinions and responses to the demo, and unfortunately at the current stage of development, it simply isn't feasible to reflect every piece of feedback into the game. However, to offer you all a more balanced gameplay experience, we will be implementing a day one patch for the game. Now, specifically, this patch will adjust movement controls. I'm hoping that means a jump button for every costume. Camera movement, all right. I didn't have a problem with the camera, but whatever. Make it smoother. I have no issue with that. Rebalancing of the difficulty. Maybe the current Balan is too easy. They're like, we can't have this easy ass game. You can't have this easy ass shit, right? They might implement more enemies, or they might implement maybe more obstacles in the way. I don't know what rebalancing of the difficulty means, but hey, you know what? There's just over a week left until launch now, so I hope you all enjoy the world of Wonderworld to your heart's content. Noriyoshi Fujimoto, producer. So let's break this down a little bit, right? Movement controls, other than a jump button, what can that mean? Does that mean acceleration? Does that mean running speed? Does that mean, it's like there's a lot of like vagueness as to what that can exactly mean, right? Now, camera movement's pretty straightforward, and rebalancing of the difficulty, there's a lot of approaches you can take to rebalance something that's difficult. Like instead of enemies being like one hit, they make enemies 2 hits, or instead of making things easy to find, they make them harder to find, or instead of making things harder to find, they make them easier to find. Now, the thing about that second approach is that everything in the demo seemed based on different costumes. It's like once you have the right costume, you can unlock this thing, and that's it, right? So maybe if they sort of make it so that even though you have the costume and like the answer, it's still not entirely the answer to certain platforming problems, or it's not the entire solution just having the outfit. Sometimes you need to like think a little more critically, or use your outfit a little more tactically to like actually take full advantage of what you can do. But now I don't know how exactly they would change this stuff, right? All we can really do now is like wait these next 11 days, see what comes out day one, and sort of can compare notes from the demo and just see what else we would like for the game from there. If there is a lot of demand to delay the game, and I feel like maybe this day one patch isn't exactly what people want when it comes down to what some people want out of Balan Wonderworld, is I feel like they had no choice but to make a day one patch because they couldn't delay the game. I feel like this is sort of like the compromise that we're just gonna have to accept if you wanted this game to be something more. I think this game is still gonna be awesome. I was pretty impressed what we had for the demo, so I think I'm just going to enjoy this game unless they somehow reinvented the wheel and ruined it. But it doesn't sound like that's what they're doing compared to from what I'm hearing here. They do re-mention the 80 different costumes, which I do think is really important. It's like the fact we have 80 of them. There's a lot that can go on there. I'm still hoping that the Balan costume is a thing where it's like the final costume that you unlock is just playing as Balan himself. Maybe if they make it some like supersonic type thing where you have to unlock everything else before you get it. Essentially, you go into different worlds that have been influenced by negative emotions. Each world is taunted by the imbalance of emotions that are causing havoc in one's harmonious environments, and the places that were once filled with joy are now overrun with negati, creatures born from negative emotions. This is like some Persona type shit, where, you know, your fucking shadows are built from the unhinged desires of humanity. Now these negati are built from negative emotions. And now, you know, it introduces our two main characters and how they're involved. They're restoring balance back to the Wonderworld. From here, it gives us a little backstory about the first three worlds that are in the game. And if you've been following Balan Wonderworld on social media, you've probably seen at least one of their small teaser videos about the different worlds. It's marketing the game as well. You know, they're showing off, you know, a lot of these nice looking cutscenes, and although as there is no voice acting, you know, it's like visuals is really, you know, are really amped up to really make you feel and make you understand like what's going on even without saying anything. My favorite one so far, it was the old man who was like picking up trash every day. You know, he's just trying to help other people, but then, you know, like the more that he was helping, the more he realized like he wasn't actually doing anything. You know, people were still throwing trash and they didn't really care that giving back to the community the same way that he did. So you're gonna see a lot of stories like that throughout the game, and if you haven't already seen them on the social media, there's another one about a firefighter. And it's like, it's so funny because like you see just a fire, like a building on fire, and you know, and this firefighter's like depressed, he's like ready to fight this damn thing, and you just see Balan in the fucking fire truck just like posing for a selfie or something. I just thought that was like so unintentionally hilarious. It's like, what the fuck are you doing there, man? It's like the wrong time to fucking be hype about that shit. Anyway, now the negati, the little villains, are the physical embodiments of people's negative emotions. The Tims, which are these cute little bunny bird things, are the physical embodiments of positivity, which, you know, go figure. I didn't even know that before this article came out, so that was pretty interesting. They were born from happy memories and times that each world's leading characters can remember before the negative emotions tip the balance. So these things are actually just physical embodiments of happiness. The Tims are really interesting because there's a lot of like mysterious things about them that haven't really been explained yet. As I was playing the demo, you know, I was like trying out different things, but I didn't really notice much about the Tims other than some of them attack, some of them pick you up items, some of them do different things. On the official website, they talk about the Isle of Tims, which it's weird that they, you know, they don't really mention this stuff in the game, but if you go online, you can look this stuff up, right? It's like, you know, so in the hub world, you know, you can press a button, feed them little gems, and they change their color and attributes if they feed them drops found within different stages. Red Tims are good at attacking, pink Tims can find items for you and different characteristics, so try giving them lots of different drops. I don't really know, because I also heard someone, you know, say that they get bigger the more that you feed them, and to just see like this humongous one in the game, I think that's hilarious. I don't know if you can get them this big in the demo, right? I don't know if anyone's still playing the demo and has tried this stuff out yet. So yeah, Tims are going to be pretty interesting. I saw someone compare them to the Chow Garden in one of the other Balan videos that I made, and it's like, you know, raising a Chow feels like you're raising a child, right? Feeding a Tim feels more like a pet. You know, like you just take it for a walk. I wouldn't really compare them, especially since Chow technically can't even come into stages with you. Unless you're talking about Sonic and the Dark Brotherhood, then that's a different story. But Chows are really only there as like a whole new mode, versus Tims are here as a part of the actual game and as a part of the story as well. So sort of like different mediums. And I think they've done a pretty good job making these things feel unique while also making them feel sort of like easy to understand. It's just a lot of the mechanics about these actual creatures just aren't really explained to the fullest extent, and so that's what I would like to see more of, like just to know exactly how these things work and how I can raise them to be what I want from the game. They show another screenshot here. This is like a new screenshot. Like we got this costume over here, which is like pretty new. Like we haven't seen it before. This is the Act 2, I believe, of the final world in the demo. So yeah, just it's not really clear what it does. It looks like a cat of some sort or something, like a cat girl. I probably shouldn't have said that. But yeah, they're sort of showing off the co-op mode that you can do. So if you have two controllers linked, even if you have a second Joy-Con linked, you can sync together. You see how they're like glowing gold? That means that the two players are synced, which means that you can use both abilities at once, right? And I feel like if you are able to do this with a single player, I feel like you could really transform this game. So sort of like Sonic Heroes, right? Where instead of like your other costume being like just a set, like you have to like transform into it, it's just out there already, and as you switch, it's just like switching a character rather than actually switching, transforming your character into a whole different form. You just have the other costume out already and you're like switching between them. I feel like that could be pretty interesting, but that's sort of what you're doing when you're playing with two players. As I said, it's like you can use both abilities at once. So she has Pumpkin Puncher and Cat Girl over here. So imagine it was like Tornado Wolf and Jumping Jack, right? So if you do the Jumping Jack in the air, while you're still in the air, you can still press the Tornado Wolf after that, and you would technically have both abilities at once. So that's why I feel like it will be really, really interesting if you can make this happen in a single player form. I feel like that would be the most unique. That would be something really unique that this game could do that I feel that other games sort of like haven't really explored yet. It would sort of suck if like a real good idea about the game was only limited to two-player mode or to like a co-op mode, because a lot of people can't play co-op. Maybe if they had some sort of online compatibility, that only sounds like more problems than it's worth. I don't think we're gonna get anything like that, right? It's important to rely on others at the times when you're stuck. Try playing co-op, invite a friend mode. Well, how am I supposed to invite friends over? It's a fucking pandemic going on. I would like for us to follow in the footsteps of the enigmatic maestro Balan